What up, Raider Nation? This is Raidio. I'm Mike.
And I'm Will.
And welcome to the sweatiest episode yet.
We're going streaking.
Yeah, I mean, you can't see us right now, but we're naked already.
We're butt-ass naked.
We're prepared.
Because we won 2 in a row. We got a winning streak, baby.
What up?
All
This
right.
is the first time I can remember us having a winning streak in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I've got PTSD. I can only remember losses now. So, I mean, this is great. I'm going to hold on to this for as long as my brain will retain it.
Well, it's just like probably you've got the mind of a squirrel, so that's probably like at least another half hour
exactly.
till this podcast episode is over.
And then I'll be thinking about nuts again.
Yeah. What else is new? But anyway, my heart is still beating. I'm still sweaty, and I've still got that headache from yesterday. Wow.
That's called a hangover.
Oh, is that what that is? Because it happens to me like six times a week. It's weird.
Yeah. You need to go to a meeting, my friend.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay. I didn't know what that was. But so, what a roller coaster ride yesterday was.
Yeah.
We're recording this on Monday night, so.
It's funny because it happened. I mean, kind of similar to the Colts game where we jumped out to a massive lead, or not massive, but a big enough lead, a sizable lead early on into the game, only for us to almost kind of just like disappear for a large chunk of the game.
I'm going to be honest. Well, full disclosure, if you listened to our episode last week, I was fully on board with us losing this game, and I thought, like, no way in hell they're going to pull this out, with Khalil, Mack, and that Bears defense, but also we were missing so many dudes. Farrell, Tyrell Williams, J.J. Nelson. I thought, no fucking way this is going to happen. And then the collapse started to happen with that retarded fucking...
Even when we were up by like 17 points,
it's not enough.
Dude,
yeah.
I'm like Chicken Little looking up at the sky. I'm waiting to be struck by lightning.
It did.
I'm
get hit by lightning.
No, I'm not going to be happy yet because knowing this team, which is the way it always happens.
Yes.
We collapse, but to lead off with
even against the Chase Daniel-led offense, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, this game pretty much cements that Josh Jacobs is a superstar in this league, probably.
Yes. Wow. Did the dude, I think, Gruden may have said this in interviews, but you scheme for, 2 to 3 yard gains, and he's got an extra 3-4 yards. I mean, his yards after carry.
Yeah. I mean, he pretty much bails out other players on the team, or the entire team in general.
Yeah.
But time of possession.
Even the way
he's controlling the clock.
Even his cuts, the way he's seeing the holes and stuff. Like, I mean, he had I'd say a handful of good runs yesterday.
Yeah, like that one. I mean, the one that comes to mind in particular is that one outlet pass on the left hand side of the field where Derek Carr threw it.
Yeah,
it was like 3 guys there.
Yeah,
and it somehow like. He just makes all of them look like they're standing still as he ran around them. Like he didn't even overpower anybody that time around. He just kind of gave like this little shimmy move, and so I mean it's
even his first touchdown run. He was going through holes and stuff. Maybe it was. I do think this is a real thing. We got to London earlier than they did. I think they got there on Friday night or something like that, and I think that does have an effect. But regardless, Josh Jacobs is a stud.
Yeah, and you got to give Gruden credit for that one. He said last year they went to London on Friday, and he was so exhausted during the game he didn't know how his players were even playing. So I mean, it's just it's great to see that we were well prepared.
They weren't playing in London in 2002 or whatever when he was 2005 when he was coaching. So this is an adjustment he had to make. But a big. Probably, I would say, the most exciting win for us since that, week 16 against the Chiefs 2 years ago, where Michael Crabtree caught that touchdown in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, it's so
rare.
The pylon. We so rarely beat the Chiefs. It's like a holiday. It's like a holiday when it happens.
Christmas came early that year.
Yeah. But I mean, it was one of those things where. Like even when Jacobs got banged up for a few plays.
Yeah, he was out of the game
and
for a couple series.
Yeah, I'm just holding my breath.
Where's the bad news?
Because in my opinion, and this is no discredit to Rashard or Washington because they both played really well yesterday.
Yeah, Washington.
Yeah, but they when Josh Jacobs is on this is what it feels like to have an elite player on the field. When Josh Jacobs is on the field, I feel like we have a shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once we don't have Josh Jacobs getting that second and manageable, third and manageable, I just don't know if we can pick up a first down.
Yeah.
But this guy completely changes this offense. He brings a completely different dimension to it, and it's purely based off of just him being like the most skilled guy in the field.
Yeah. I just hope we don't use him out. Run him out too quick.
Yeah, and this is the scary part about having your running back be your best player.
Yeah,
we need him to stay healthy.
I usually hate having the bye week earlier in the season, but like shit, we kind of need it now with so many guys being hurt. Like, at least he's got another week for his elbows or shoulder, whatever the hell was bothering him, to like heal up a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, we definitely have to monitor that going forward. But if there's one thing that I took away from this game, and I have like absolutely no negatives about it, and I know.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah, and I'm a pessimistic person.
You are weird.
Yeah, but is that Josh Jacobs? I mean, he's starting to look like a top 5 type of running back. Like he can run with the best of them.
Well, absolutely. Opposing defensive coordinators need to plan for him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You put him on any of those other great offenses in the league, and he's
he's a stud anywhere.
Yeah, he's good anywhere. Exactly my point. And then we finally saw like Paul Gunther hit the defibrillator on this defense, and finally saw some life from them.
Yeah, Morrow with that great pick. That was, I mean, okay, let's be honest. Those picks were on Chase Daniel, but credit the defense for actually getting the picks.
Yeah, looking at the quarterback and having your eyes towards the quarterback.
Yes, Morrow made a great play.
Which Conley's pissing me off. He just got to turn his head.
Yeah.
Like he did get that gimme interception at the end of the game, but that one pass interference call, it's like, dude, you were right there. Just come on, just turn around. Like, you can't. It's like a gimme for the refs.
The defense did great. I mean, I think pretty much, especially our line, because they pretty much shut down what was his name, like Montgomery and their running backs, their running game. It was pretty much, we were winning at the line.
Yeah, I think that it's safe to say that we have a good run defense. I think that we've
PJ Hall in the middle, was looking good.
PJ Hall, I mean,
Hankins.
Corey Legit is coming into his own.
Yeah.
So
Corey Legit.
Legit. He now that he is in football shape, he's kind of changing the complexion of the defensive line a little bit.
Yeah, we were consistently winning at the line.
Yeah, because he's like a two-way player. He can push the pocket, but he's also great in the run game. And I mean, the arrival of Max Crosby completely changes everything.
He is officially my favorite Raider now. Like, okay, so we see him getting beat, probably in the majority of plays, whatever. He's a young guy, but you can see the commitment to the plays there, the energy that he brings to every play. He's always, following the ball. And he's made plenty of flashes. What did he had? He had a sack, and his hands are always up.
And what did we say last week?
Mad Max.
That Paul Gunther, we're not expecting an elite defense from him. We're not signing his walking papers yet, but we have to start seeing development from some of these younger players.
Is kind of what we're seeing out of Crosby this year is kind of what we wanted to see out of Key last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a complimentary rusher.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he doesn't, in my opinion, he doesn't look like he's like an elite defensive end. No. But he looks like he can be your Robin.
Exactly.
You
just need a Batman.
You just need a Batman.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
And I mean, it's kind of frustrating that Clelin Ferrell hasn't been that guy yet. He's still young. He's still got a long ways to go. But it's and the concussion kept him out of the game. So we really need to start seeing something from Clelin Ferrell once he gets back. Hopefully he gets healthy.
We need to see more.
Yeah, once he gets healthy, and once he gets back.
He's not playing like a number 4 pick right now. I mean, I know we're a quarter of the way into the season or something, but we would like to see a little bit more from him, I think, than what we've seen so far.
I mean, Max Crosby showing more than he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we had a Mo Hurst signing. citing.
Twice.
Yeah, and then fuck the NFL.
Fuck the referees, dude.
I'm tired of this game.
fucking, my veins were popping out of my forehead. I had to fucking tuck them back in with that roughing the passer call.
It's been way too long since we complained about something in this podcast. You know, we went on a
We've gone 10 minutes now without one complaint. We need to get back to what we know.
Fuck the NFL. Fuck these stupid rules.
That was so fucking stupid.
Like, I want nothing more for them to just guarantee all these players their contracts in the next CBA and just let them fucking play the game.
Let them play the game.
Like, it's...
Do we need Tom Brady to send out texts to the league like for every game? You know what I mean?
They're ruining the sport.
They really are.
I always felt like when people said that within the last couple of years, I'll admit I was the guy who was like fighting from saying that tooth and nail, where I'm just like, oh, you're just old dogs. You're just like losers caught in the past, and like you're nostalgic about your childhood or something like that, and when your favorite players played. But I think that now the quality and of the product on the field has suffered. It's suffered in such an obvious way, where the game is just, it's not consistent.
Yeah,
football is no longer consistent.
It seems like, dude, it's a new. Sorry to cut you up, but it's like it seems like it's a new thing every year. Like what was it, 3-4 years ago? It was like, what's a catch? We don't know. You know, now it's roughing the passer and holding calls. Like, what the... Yeah. First of all, holding goes on probably, like, almost every play.
Holding call. The holding penalty is just... does not work. Mm-hmm. The holding penalty is something that they call when they fuck up another call and they want to make up for it.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, because they don't call it all the time.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're going to get to the point where roughing the passing penalties are challengeable. Seriously, we're going to get there, and the game is going to come to a. I hope so, but I don't, because it's going to come to a screeching halt. But
the pass interception thing is a little how that's working out.
Well, did you see that in the game where with what's his name, who got flagged for cursing out the ref? Who's the coach that?
Garrett?
Jason
Garrett.
Yeah, I don't even like the Cowboys, but he does have a point, man. Like they're.
Oh, I know.
Like I almost feel like they're just not going to. They're never going to overturn one of these calls.
Yeah.
It's almost like a pride thing at this point. I mean,
it's an authority thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the guy who. The guy overseeing all of these calls back in fucking New York is like biased in a sense. I saw something like that where he said something like he doesn't believe in this rule and he would never call it and everything like that. But he's publicly said this and he's still the guy who's reviewing it.
Yeah. Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, and even like that. What was it? A week or two ago, like where the intent of the rule is not there, because Jon Gruden called through the one challenge.
Yeah.
And on the instant replay, on the replay, it was like, it's a holding call because
he fucked up earlier on the play.
Yeah,
it wasn't what they called for was probably correct, but he fucked up earlier in the play where he was holding him.
And we missed that, and you can't challenge that.
Yeah.
So
call the play right. Just call the game correctly.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, in the ref's defense, there's too many fucked up, stupid rules, so maybe that's why. But I literally, like, this is how they create mass murderers. I was ready to go out to my local fucking Walmart and buy an AR-15.
Go watch the Joker.
And just shoot up a movie theater because Mo Hurst had a clean tackle on the quarterback.
What is he supposed to...
He didn't even land on him. He didn't even land on him.
No. He, literally, he had his arm around him, and that's it. What do you need? What does he need to do?
They were spooning.
Does he need to? Yeah, he was the big spoon.
Yeah, it was sexual at best.
Yeah.
Like it went. So
no, what do you expect him to do? Some Matrix shit, like stop in midair, fucking somersault around?
He's a fat guy. I know, he's not. He can't do that.
He's like 300 pounds. Yeah, and he's running full force.
The sentence that consistently rings true is that these are rules made by white guys who couldn't do what they're asking these players to do if they tried. Fat old 60-year-old men, because it is impossible to do what they're asking these players to do.
Yeah,
it's
these guys, physically impossible.
Yeah, they've never played this game ever, and you can tell.
Yeah,
you can tell because it just doesn't make sense.
It's so easy to say, "Oh, stop it," but when you're when this is your job and this is what you've been trained to do for the last 20 years of your life, like, come on, man.
Yeah, but either way, major sigh of relief that we saw Mo Hurst finally get involved in the game.
Yeah.
he was our best prospect from last year, and here I am. I'm like, oh my God, Paul Gunther's ruining Mo Hurst. But like we said last week, we need to see development from them. We don't expect a world beater of a defense, but on on games where the offense is giving you something. Take what you can get, and see these players develop.
Make plays. Just make
Mo
plays,
Hurst had a good game. Nick Morrow has shown flashes for a couple of years now, and I've been a big fan of him. He reminds me of like Deion Jones out of Atlanta. He's like this new age coverage linebacker, who can run like a corner. So
I think he was on every snap but two, like the whole game. So he was.
Yeah, he's instrumental, and we're going to see a lot more of him.
With no Burfict now.
With no Burfict.
Yeah.
And Tahir Whitehead taking up the inside linebacker duties. God save us all.
Yeah.
But, and Worley had a solid game, too.
Worley technically had a pick, not to go back to that, but, technically that was a good pick.
But you know what? And I felt something coming from him, because before that pick, he was all over the ball. Like, you were seeing him all over the field. And underrated guy. Like, he may not be a world class corner, but I think that he could just be a solid starter that raise the floor a little bit.
Yeah.
In terms of corner play, because it's not like we have great corners.
Yeah. I mean,
is Conley starting to verge into bust territory? Because he had a bad game.
He had a bad game. The touchdown he gave up, though, I thought the coverage is still pretty tight. Like, I don't know if he could have done a much better job. It was just a really well-placed ball and a good catch. But, he's underperformed, or he's underwhelmed. It's no longer, we've seen flashes like last year of Conley Island and stuff, and we haven't seen that yet this year. What's going on? I don't know, but he just seems to not be as his coverage is lacking a little bit more than it has in the last, at least from last season.
Yeah, and he's kind of like this season we needed like a revelation type of season for him, because next year's the last year.
Yeah.
So it's
so far.
And you don't want to pay a guy on a walk year.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's kind of frustrating there. Anybody else on the defense that we haven't really touched on?
I mean, Joyner played every snap of the game, and he had that one ugly fucking play where they pretty much gave up that touchdown. Where he held him, then he had the defensive pass interference, who was all over him.
Yeah. And then he had that one play where he was in a great position and almost made the interception to end the game. I think it was their last touchdown, and he was just outboxed or because he's a short guy. But that sucked. I mean,
he had some ugly plays, but
so far in my opinion, he's just not worth the money. I mean, he's a piece. He's a decent player for us. He's going to be on our team for a couple of years, but so far,
I don't know. Without seeing the God. Gross.
Bless you.
They always come in twos. Without seeing, the all 22 footage or really seeing where he was on the field, but just from what I could tell from the television broadcast, we just saw the ugliness. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he was doing other things, during the plays that didn't work out, or if he was better in coverage. But he had some rough moments yesterday.
One guy we got to give shout out to on defense, probably our best defensive player so far this year, Benson Mayola.
Got another sack.
Yeah,
Mayola. Where the hell did he come from? You know what I mean?
Us.
Yeah.
He was on our team a couple of years ago, and he played solid. And
what is he at? 5.5 sacks now, something like that?
I think 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah. So I mean, he already tied his total for last year on.
Dude, we're almost to the amount of sacks and wins we've had last year.
Yeah. We have pieces. We have pieces on this team. Is what this team. What this game.
For sure.
This game basically showed me what I knew, in that, and which is why I was so angry the last couple of weeks, because, everyone. You might call me a homer preseason when I'm like, this team has some talent on it.
No, we do.
And we do have talent on it, but the coaching staff has to put it together. They did put it together this week, and so major props to them.
We've won 2 good games in a row. The Colts beat the Chiefs yesterday, and that's so technically we're better than the Chiefs, is what I'm trying to say.
That's not how that works.
We beat the Colts beat the Chiefs.
That's not how that works.
But 2 solid wins. You know what I mean? 2 teams that are tough to beat.
That no one expected us to win.
Yeah, we had no business going to London and beating the Bears.
We said going into October, preseason, our ideal situation was being 500, which we were.
Yeah.
Right. And then we didn't really expect to win many games in October, and we're already off to a good start.
Second place in the division, 3-2. I think this is best case scenario.
Yeah, this is the best case scenario, and
game behind or a game and a half behind the Chiefs. That's not not terrible.
Yeah, and you know what? Like we kind of gave ourselves some leeway in a month that's still difficult.
Yeah.
You know, like you going up against the Packers, it's a tough game. We'll talk about that later, but going up against the Texans, tough game. Lions, a winnable game. So we can still, if we can manage to split those other two tough games and beat the Lions, you're looking really good.
You know, honestly, I think I'm going to be, I mean, this is a conversation on the road, but I think the Lions might be a tougher matchup. The Texans is the team we need to beat because the Texans is, I mean, they're the kind of team that they're loaded on talent, but they shoot themselves in the foot a lot, I feel like.
Well, my thing is this, is that the only teams that we've beaten are the teams where we've had a undoubted advantage at quarterback. I mean, you know, Kirk Cousins is probably better than Carr by a pube hair at this point.
Yeah.
But we lost to the two teams with the better quarterback.
Yeah.
And so we're now going up against some talent: Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and
teams whose quarterbacks can win them the game.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford, who's someone I would put on Carr's level. But
we haven't seen any Carr magic in like 2 years. You know?
Yeah, it's.
I mean, maybe that should transition us to talking about the offense a little bit. I mean, because we talked about Jacobs, but from the eye tests, Carr probably had a solid game, right? He didn't commit any turnovers, nothing crazy, but
he did. I don't give that fumbles on Carr. It's not on Josh Jacobs.
No, yeah,
that's a Carr turnover.
So he changed the play at the line from a handoff to a pitch.
Yeah, and then he pitched it like a fucking softball pitcher.
Yeah,
like that shit had some heat.
I honestly don't know though whose fault that was. If that was Jacobs just not. He didn't hear the play call, or if it was just there was a miscommunication.
But that was one of the ugliest pitches I've ever seen.
Oh, that was a horrible turnover, and then that was when it was like, oh, yep, we're losing the game. Like in my head, I'm like, yep, this is it.
Yeah, this is where we start doing Raider stuff.
Yes, this is the beginning of the end. Yeah.
I mean, Derek Carr though managed the game script, and he played well within that game script. So I'm not trying to deny him anything.
And I think
all I'm saying is that Derek Carr is no longer the best player on this team.
No, he's not.
I mean, not by a long shot.
Then if you have the talent to be, then show us it because we haven't seen it.
Yeah. I mean, it
when you're doing little check down 7-yard passes.
I think I'm not trying to say that he's necessarily our undoing, but he's also our highest paid player. And
you need to perform like that.
And he seems to me like a guy who's a game manager. He's starting to become like he'll take what he can get, and he's not going to dictate the tempo of the game whatsoever. He's not going to push defenses. He's not going to put pressure on the opposing team. Well, to change their game plan. No one's game planning against Derek Carr.
You know what really pissed me off? The drive that actually won us the game, but it was the third down that led to that fourth down. And listen, I think it's amazing that we made a 97-yard drive to win the game. I think that does show some resiliency, some mental toughness or whatever, but that third down, it was like 3rd and 8, and he makes like a 3-yard pass to who was it, like Waller or someone?
No, it was it was one of our white guys. Renfro, Carrier, or Moreau or something like that. But that play pissed me off too, dude, because you can see as the receiver was going down to the ground, the other routes on the field were just starting to develop.
Yeah.
And Waller was getting free down the field for a first down. Derek Carr does not read the defense. He does not read the field. He locks onto his first target, and he gets the ball out of his hand in the first 3 seconds. We
talked about this a little bit earlier today.
And that's like rookie quarterback.
No, but I think he always seems to go to the checkout, and I think he seems to be more concerned about getting the ball out of his hands within 2 seconds rather than making a play or seeing any developing.
Yeah.
He always goes to his fucking first read or his check down, and he never. the only place where we've seen him kind of throw it over 10, 15 yards is like play action.
Yeah.
But if he's just dropping back, he's going right to the the running back or the tight end who's standing 5 yards from the line of scrimmage.
And I don't mean to shit on our streaking party here or anything like that, but
well, we are naked. So.
Everyone's really happy about it, but I think that on offense, I mean, we had injuries at the wide receiver position, so I'm not going to necessarily shit on our backups for playing like backups. I mean, Keelan Doss had a couple of nice catches.
Dude, Foster Moreau too.
Foster Moreau has been a solid player.
He has.
We have a great tight end group.
Huge surprise there. Yeah.
Great tight end group.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that like the one area where I don't think that we're getting what we're paying for is probably Derek Carr. Like it's like
he can't win it. I don't know. Like it's like winning this game. Like Josh Jacobs won us that game yesterday.
Exactly. Like Josh Jacobs definitely won us the game.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. But in the back of my head, I'm like, well, I mean, fuck, Josh Jacobs is getting paid nothing. Like and we need to go, like when we need to go out there next year and sign like a big name number one wide receiver because the Antonio Brown experiment
failed. He went crazy, like
that. You know what I mean? And then maybe sign a corner, sign a safety.
Yeah.
We have a lot of holes on this team still, and
maybe even one of our first round picks if we don't get a quarterback. I don't know.
Yeah, like there's a lot of holes on this team. And you can't just be content with what Derek Carr is giving you, in my opinion, unless Derek Carr would take like a pay cut or something like that.
No, I agree.
And take the amount of money that he's worth right now, which is not $25 million.
I agree. Yeah.
That's my only point. I'm not trying to shit on the guy anymore. He's got 11 games left. He could still prove me wrong. We could still have that aha moment where he just goes out onto the field and completely dominates and tears a defense apart.
Part of me still thinks that could be a reality. Like it's in him still. You know what I mean? Because I remember gunslinging Derek Carr in 2016 where he was, no matter who was on our team, when he was under center and like, oh, we're down by a touchdown with 2 minutes to go, we got this.
Yeah, I know.
And
I got to look back on that year too, because I mean, was it just him fucking Michael Crabtree down the field?
I don't know.
Like
I don't remember.
Was the deep ball the first the first option or something like that?
I don't remember.
I don't know, but
yeah, we have to go back and look. But if let me pause at you. If DeAndre Washington was our running back the entire series instead of Josh Jacobs,
we lose this game without Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, you think? I agree.
End of story. There's no way we win this game without Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
And great segue. Does Josh Jacobs and plus an additional first rounder outweigh Khalil Mack in this scenario?
We're getting so much better at segues.
We're working on it.
We should buy actual segues to stand on when we.
But yeah, I mean, we lose this game without Josh Jacobs. We traded Khalil Mack for Josh Jacobs and one future pick.
Yeah. So
are we winning the trade?
Well, let me say this. This game was a hell of a victory for the Raiders. We needed this. We needed to make a statement. And I think maybe as a Raider fan, my favorite thing about the game is Khalil he did nothing. He was quiet like most of the game, which was weird for him. Probably one of the most quiet games of his career. Whether he had like that one hit against Derek when Derek threw the ball away quick, and he even let up on him, which was pretty funny. It's like old buddies. He picks him up, he lays him down gently.
Yeah, he's
like fucking reads him a bedtime
But they were both like laughing after it and stuff like that. You could tell that they're still
friends.
Yeah, they're friends.
And then he recovered that awful fumble recovery, but whatever. Other than that, like, no, he was fucking quiet the whole game. So this was a victory for the Raiders. Does it mean we won the trade? I don't know.
Also, let's be real though. Like, we ran the ball most of the game, and Derek Carr doesn't hold on to the ball long enough in order for pass rushers to get there.
That's game plan, and that's the strategy. So we out coached them or out thought them in that area.
I mean. Yeah, we definitely strategized Mack out of the game.
Yeah, and I think even our offensive line, was adapting to where he was on the field and shit. I mean, and that's and just taking him out of the game. The game ball goes to the offensive line. Even fucking Colton Miller, Trent Brown. Trent Brown shut him last year. Shut down Mack with the Patriots game. I think he did it again. Yeah, our offensive line, even our fullback, Alec Ingold, oh my God. That block he made on the winning touchdown run.
The cut block.
Yeah, and he just jumping in there. Fucking good job, guys. You know what I mean?
They did a good job of handling him. The Bears' defensive front seven was not at full force, full health.
Yeah.
They're injured, and so obviously it's hard for one player to kind of generate a pass rush on his own.
Yeah.
But we did what we had to do.
Yeah, exactly.
We blocked the guys in front of us.
We did what we had to do. Yeah.
But you didn't answer my question.
I mean, I think it's too soon to say do we win the trade or not, because we don't know where these guys' careers are going. Yesterday was like winning a tiny battle though along the way, if that makes sense. I mean, Khalil Mack's obviously probably arguably the best defensive player in the league, but Josh Jacobs looks like a stud. We kept him quiet, so it's a little victory. Do we win the trade? I don't think we'll actually be able to answer that question for another 5 years.
It probably depends on who that other player is, really. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah,
a first round.
Exactly.
You could pat yourself on the back around a first round pick, but you still got to make that selection.
Half the equation is only half the equation is written.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could even if we turn that pick into like a really great quarterback, if we could trade down, who knows? Just throwing hypotheticals out there. Then I think you'd win that pick.
And if they continue to have quarterback issues, that pick might even be better than our pick next year.
Yeah, I mean, their schedule is really tough for the rest of the year.
Yeah, they don't have any. Their two easiest games are like the Chargers and the Giants, I believe. But beyond that, they have like Philly. I think they have the Rams. They have the Vikings. Like it's
tough.
Yeah, it's a tough. They have the Cowboys, I think, still.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So it's conceivable, though. They probably wind up in the middle of the pack, though. I think we both agree, right? Between 10, 15, in that range.
I would probably say that like they're what 3-3 now. I would probably say that bare minimum they have another four.
Bare minimum.
Four more wins in them, so they're probably gonna be hovering somewhere around 500.
Do you think? Well, I don't know. You think they're like a 10-6 team right now? I mean, they're not going to win a lot until they figure out their quarterback situation.
It's not even just the quarterback situation. That's a bad offensive line.
Yeah, no, you're
right. I think that they're going to hover around 500 somewhere. A bad quarterback and bad offensive line.
Yeah.
And
Allen Robinson was really their only player who made any plays for them yesterday.
And that's another. They also lost a couple of those defensive players this year.
Yeah.
To free agency. That they don't have Adrian Amos anymore. Bryce Callahan they got rid of. And then when guys get like what's his name, the defensive
Hicks
Akeem Hicks got hurt. So I mean, defensive. People are gonna get banged up, and then on top of that, the engine of your team is not good. Yeah. Just genuinely not good, even when healthy.
Good job trading him for Trubisky when you could have gotten Mahomes or Watson, just saying.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fucking retarded. That was the most Bears quarterback selection of all time. So, I don't know.
I think, I don't know if we already said this, but I legit thought they had a better chance to win with Daniel. He didn't look great. He looked bad, but I mean, like...
No,
Trubisky is more athletic.
Now they're hoping Trubisky gets back because they're like, all right, that was interesting.
A horrible experiment. Yeah.
But so my question for you is this: use that first round pick next year. What type of player do you want? What type of player are you looking for out of that?
Shit. Well, you want a fucking A+ player, but I don't think we're gonna finish. The way we're looking, 3-2 is again.
But say the Bears finish like seven wins, so you have yourself maybe like a top 15 pick, like 15-16 area.
Like what do I go out and get?
Yeah, what kind of player do you want to go out and get?
According to the needs of the team right now, dude, I'd even think about getting a wide receiver.
Like a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? We have a lot of holes on offense, but I really love the idea of flipping that pass rusher pick, that Khalil Mack, into two stud offensive weapons. because it's an offensive league.
If you got Josh, exactly. Well, I think that's part of the reason they traded him, because like, why are we gonna play a defensive player when this league is all about the rules are dictated toward making the offense successful?
Yeah, when Mohurst is just tackling a guy and he's getting flagged.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Khalil Mack, the reason why he didn't get flagged like other people do is because he doesn't blow up the quarterback. He plays the ball. He's always trying to punch the ball out of people's hands and forcing a turnover. So, I mean, Khalil Mack's a little bit of an exception to the rule, but part of what I want to do with that first round pick, let's go out there, let's get a stud wide receiver number one to pair with Josh Jacobs, who's a stud running back, and you can have the makings of a good offense. You know. So
what we're saying is the trade isn't lost yet, despite what like all the other media sources are saying. I mean, sure, you traded away one of the generational defensive talents. You know,
he'll probably wear a gold jacket one day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we everyone knows that, but like for the team, maybe the better move was this. And I think we have a chance to win this trade. Call me a fucking Raiders homer or whatever, but like I don't think we outright lost this trade. Like how much money are we saving off, getting these rookie contracts and spreading the money around?
It's nice that we haven't lost it yet. Like as a Raider fan, like I'm used to like the first pick just being a clunker.
Yeah.
And so
hey, Colton has played better. He's had good games.
He's getting there. He's getting there. He's hot and cold, but
he is.
But at least Josh Jacobs, step one to winning the Khalil Mack trade, check. And then next year, that next pick, I would say don't even put a defensive player to even compare to Khalil Mack in any way whatsoever. The same way people are comparing him, Cleveland Farrell to him, which is just not fair.
No, yeah.
But we're on our way, and hopefully we can acquire enough resources to make to make something out of Derek Carr. That's for sure.
That's the big question mark, right?
Chicken salad out of chicken shit, or whatever the fuck the phrase is.
He's still, that's the phrase. I don't know. Yeah, but he's still the question mark in the team. But the win was special yesterday, just because we made that draft pick a little bit better. After all said and done. But ultimately, the team will succeed or fail on the arm of Derek Carr, and I still, he's still a question mark. We don't know if he's the guy or not.
Yeah, I mean, my personal opinion, I would not be heartbroken next year if you go out and with 2 first-round picks, you get yourself a rookie quarterback, a good wide receiver. It's a stacked wide receiver class next year.
Good.
And cut Derek Carr, take that $25 million, go out, sign yourself a legitimate defensive playmaker. So who the best guy in the market that's available, and just move on. We
probably have to go with like a Josh Herbert or someone like that, like not
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Justin Herbert. Sorry, but yeah, somewhere within like the fucking the 3 to 5, 3 to 6 quarterback range. We're probably gonna miss out in the first.
But the
2 to 3.
The thing is that if all Carr is doing and all we're asking of him is to manage the game, you can have a rookie do that, where you just be like, listen, dude,
don't make mistakes.
Yeah, don't make mistakes. Don't play outside of your comfort zone. You have Josh Jacobs. He's a superstar running back. You have pieces around you. You have a decent offensive line.
Got a good line,
right?
Yeah.
Like we can start considering like the same way that Khalil Mack wasn't worth the money. How can we sit there and be honest with ourselves and say Khalil Mack wasn't worth the money, and then sit there and say that Derek Carr
I agree. I mean, the position itself, it's inherent with the money, but if you can ask a rookie to do what Derek Carr is doing this year, and you're going to save yourself a lot of money.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I agree.
And we have holes on this defense that where if Carl Joseph is gone next year, you can go out and you can get an elite safety for like $15 million.
Yeah, and I think we have the 4th most cap space in the league.
Yeah. So I mean, we can completely turn the trajectory of this team around if we just.
Next year's Vegas too. You want that new rookie, exciting quarterback.
Yeah, I hate like this. Like I think that there's a little bit of a loser's mentality when it comes to Derek Carr.
What do you mean?
I think that like a lot of the Raider fan base is just. used to being bad.
Oh, like we're fine with mediocrity. Kind of thing,
yeah, exactly.
Or we celebrate mediocrity.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, I know how bad it's been, so I'm going to stick with Derek Carr. Well, it's like if you don't try to win, you're never gonna win. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So if Derek Carr going into year 7 hasn't done anything, he hasn't had a winning season, he hasn't won any playoff games 7 years into it, and you're paying him $20+ million a year. Let's make a move to win. Let's go out there and find a kid. Well, I mean, like, and I'm not even saying like this is the plan or the blueprint by any means of the imagination, but Gardner Minshew's playing better than him. And
oh boy, here we go. No, oh my, what road are you going down right now?
What I'm saying is that if you don't swing, you're never going to hit the ball out of the park. Gardner Minshew was a 6th-round pick. I'm not saying that's the guy that's
the reincarnation of Ken Stabler, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it just for me, Nate Peterman on IR and Mike Glennon's just not going to cut it. Like I think that we need.
You're saying for backup.
Yeah, dude, I don't want my backup to be a guy who holds a clipboard. Like Minshew was drafted to be the backup. Yeah. I want a backup who.
Okay, I thought you were saying like let's trade for Minshew or something.
No.
Okay, that's what scared me.
What I'm saying is that Gardner Minshew was drafted in the 6th round. He's playing better than Derek Carr, and that's just a perfect example. If you don't go out there. I'm pretty sure the Seahawks drafted a quarterback every single year until they hit on Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. Everyone was mocking him for it, like Charlie Whitehurst and all these other guys. Like you're going to miss. You're absolutely going to miss. I don't think that they're complaining about all those other fucking guys now. Mm-hmm. Now they have Russell Wilson.
And you forget all those guys.
Exactly. And so we absolutely have to. I mean, even if we don't pull the plug on the Derek Carr experience next year, you gotta bring in competition. You gotta bring.
I agree.
You
he
gotta
at least needs the seat warmed. You know what I mean?
A little bit. Yeah. A little bit. Just because. Like I said, that loser's mentality. What has he actually done?
He's not going to lose us games, but he's also not going to win us games.
Yeah.
He's a game manager.
Yeah.
He's turned into that.
And I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, but I want to win a fucking playoff game, man. Derek Carr's been here for 6 years. I want to win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Like that's all I want. Like I want to be playing football in December and January and winning games.
Listen, let me throw this at you. Because I know you're low on Jon Gruden. Am I correct? Is it like?
Well, yeah.
You've been critical of him in the weeks past.
Rightly so.
Okay, but Jon Gruden has been winning us games, not Derek Carr. You know what I mean? Like, so who knows what Gruden's system? So we know the identity of his play calling, right? Where it's like ground and pound, old school, run the ball down your throat football with some play action thrown in there. But who knows what the actual? It's hard to say what he's actually scheming. If there are some deep routes down the field, we can't tell with Derek Carr.
He makes some plays that piss me off still. Let's just say that.
Okay, he's not perfect. All right.
You have like 1 or 2 yards to
talking about that
to
Trevor
the touch.
Davis play?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have 1 or 2 yards to get a touchdown, right? And you have Josh Jacobs. You have Darren Waller. Any of your tight ends have been playing lights out, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you give the ball to 2-week-old Trevor Davis. He's a fucking infant Raider at this point. Like he's had a couple of good plays, but in a game where you're considered to be outmatched by the opponent.
Listen, I don't think that's a bad play call.
It's getting cute though. You gotta admit, it's getting cute.
It's getting cute, and I think he overthought it. But I mean, at the same time, that's a touchdown if he doesn't drop the ball like a fucking idiot. That was on Trevor Davis, not on Jon Gruden.
I agree.
That's a touchdown.
I agree, but
that play was a touchdown.
But my point is this: are you giving the ball to Jalen Richard on that play? Are you giving that ball? Are you giving that ball to DeAndre Washington?
I know what you're saying, and I agree. You're getting too cute.
Are you giving it to Keelan Doss? Are you going to have a specifically designed play for these guys?
That's how we can say. I guess those are the consequences of being cute. Guys fuck up like that.
That play was going to be a Trevor Davis play from the minute the ball was
Yeah.
snapped.
Yeah. That was a play designed for him.
Don't agree with that.
Yep. No. I mean, it was what it was, and I guess like in reality, yeah, there were consequences to getting too cute.
Hey,
but the play design itself was a touchdown.
I get it. If the fumble didn't happen, then he looks like a god or a genius or whatever. But
you're not supposed to drop the ball on the 1 yard line. That's he's an idiot. I mean, that's what that comes down to.
And I also feel like when you put like the rubber to the road and get up there against like elite defenses in the end zone, I think that we're going to see some issues with Gruden's offense, because even like right now when we're like, let's say like first or second and 10 with only like another 10 yards after that to the end zone.
They were like on the 20?
Yeah, like on the 20-yard line, right? And we're just like grinding out to like.
Well,
the
that seems to be
line.
Perfect for us though, because we're not throwing the ball farther than 10 yards.
Yeah, but what I'm basically trying to say is that we don't really take shots in the end zone whatsoever.
No, we don't.
Like and you want to be able to be a team that can fucking threaten that. Lay it on them.
And we've talked about this in past weeks, but it's probably a combination of everything, honestly, where it's like timid play calling, also lackluster talent on the offensive side of the ball as far as receiving, and also Derek Carr being
maybe that's it.
Being scared of holding the ball more than 3 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, so
it's probably a combination of all those things.
But to answer your point, is there a glass half full take after this game on Jon Gruden? Absolutely there is, because I mean, Jon Gruden outcoached the other. And we've been saying this the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. He's been outcoached consistently. Yeah. This is the first week that I can probably say without a shadow of a doubt that he outcoached the other team.
I love the Eric. He didn't like. Came a nut hair away from fumbling the ball, but I love the 4th and 1 call, or whatever it was, like 4th and 1, I think, on the fake punt.
Yeah.
I love that call because you got 5 minutes to go, you're down by like, what was it, 3-4 points? Like,
yeah,
that's, you're a genius if you make it, you're an idiot if you don't. But
yeah, and it's also kind of like funny in a way to me, because I think that when you saw Gruden get that 10-year contract, you knew that he was going to get a second quarterback at some point.
I mean,
so it's
Derek Carr's not going to last another 8 years, whatever.
Yeah. So it's like the narrative that we don't really know what Jon Gruden's offense is capable of until he gets like an elite quarterback.
Yeah,
it's like that was kind of going to be the thing from day one. Like we all kind of knew that was going to be.
It's going to solidify.
That was going
itself.
to be a headline. Yeah. At some point.
If we're looking down the road, it's going to solidify itself in the 3rd year of our rookie quarterback. You know what I mean? Like here is your test, Jon Gruden. Here's no more excuses. Because Derek Carr is, I would not be surprised if he's not a Raider in a year or two. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's why I'm trying to like. I have a little bit of an urgency when talking about, like, I know a lot of fans want to rest on their laurels. We have a big game that we won. We're 3-2 when no one thought we would be, and there's plenty of season left to play. But Josh Jacobs is a running back. Their careers don't last very long. Mm-hmm. We have Tyrell Williams, who might be an upper echelon number 2 in this league.
Yeah.
You have 3 good tight ends. Not many teams have 1.
Yeah.
You have 3 good tight ends that are not just like single single role type of guys, like utility players.
Yeah.
They all can block. They all can catch, and they're all making
and Darren Waller could be maybe top 5 tight end in the league.
Yeah, if Jon Gruden can actually figure out how to use him correctly.
Yeah.
And we're starting to build a decent offensive line. So you can't just sit there and wait for Derek Carr to arrive when the guy's like gonna be like 28 years old next year.
Yeah.
So there has to be some urgency with that quarterback position. We need some electrifying talent at that role. I mean,
You'd rather roll the dice on a rookie some hotshot rookie than allow. I mean, Derek Carr is a known quantity. You know what you're getting out of there.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him the keys to the Porsche. I would definitely have a veteran of some kind in there that's cheaper and can, be like
get like a Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of type.
Like a plan B scenario or something like that. Some guy who can kind of teach him the ropes and how to be a professional and stuff like that. But, our window might open within the next couple of years. We might see a window open in the next year or two. And you want to capitalize on that window.
But I think we both agree we're probably not paying Josh Jacobs' next contract. So
I don't know about that. It depends on how healthy he is.
It
depends on how healthy he is.
4 years down the road, the kind of runner he is.
Depends.
Let's see.
We'll have to see. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. But
you got to get your shit together within 2 years, though. We've got to compete within 2 years.
Exactly. Like the way the team is built, we're gonna have a massive influx of young talent. We're gonna have a couple of guys really come into their own. We're starting to sign a couple of cornerstone free agents like Trent Brown.
Yeah. Let me just throw this out there. Let's look at the AFC. Tom Brady is retiring within the next couple of years, right? Maybe 2 years, 2 years.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers might be on his way out.
Phillip Rivers is on his way out. Denver is still
is weak.
No one's at the wheel in Denver.
Yeah.
Chargers, Chiefs, and Mahomes. That's going to be there for a while.
Yeah, but
maybe Andy Reid, the diabetes.
Teams,
maybe the diabetes sets in after a while.
That's what I'm saying. It pisses me off. Like, my thing is this, and my dad was trying to tell me that I'm a Patrick Mahomes lover, and
oh my God,
I'm not a Patrick Mahomes lover. Will Derek Carr ever be a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes?
No,
absolutely not.
No.
Then we need someone who.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid hard if you think that.
Yeah, we need someone who will. That's it. Like, I'm not going to just resign. I'm not going to just resign the AFC West to the Chiefs for the next 10 years or however long fucking Patrick Mahomes is playing. I want a quarterback better than him. I want someone who can go toe to toe with that motherfucker and win our division.
Listen, we all want that. I think first of all, he's the MVP of the league. Those don't come, very often. His talent, I hate the guy. I want him.
But there's only ever one. Yeah, but there's one MVP of the league. All right, Tom Brady can Brady can be the MVP of the league back in the day, and then there's still a Peyton Manning.
But he's a special talent. So if we had a Peyton Manning, yeah, sure, I'd fucking take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but you need a top. Let's be real. You need a top five. You need a top five quarterback in order to go deep in the playoffs.
Unless you have an elite defense that's historical, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And good luck assembling 11 Hall of Famers like the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, like the Ravens or the Denver defense.
It's not easy to do. I hate it when people say that. It's like, oh, look at you can do it with an elite defense.
The Buccaneers that Gruden won with.
Yeah, exactly. But you're talking about a fucking Hall of Fame class in their own right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you cannot assemble that many good guys,
it's hard.
good players consistently.
Super hard to do.
It's why there's maybe one team every decade that does it.
Yeah, yeah. The Seahawks probably are the most likely. Maybe the Patriots this year, but Seahawks were probably Seahawks and the Broncos. Seahawks and the Broncos probably. But anyway, yeah.
The Patriots are like bullies on the playground, beating up the kids. Kids from a grade lower than them.
Where's the money?
Yeah. That schedule is unfair. It's crazy.
I mean, we don't even need to fucking mention whoever makes these schedules is on heroin, because look at our schedule and look at the Patriots schedule.
Yeah, they're asleep at the wheel.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But I mean, speaking of schedules going forward, because that's a good way to end off the episode. Looking ahead.
Packers game.
The Packers game is a litmus test.
Dude, that's gonna be tougher than the Bears.
Yeah. No, I mean, no shit. There's a better quarterback.
Legit defense, great quarterback.
He is underperforming this year. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is doing his best job to lose me fantasy football games on a weekend basis.
You have Rodgers?
Yeah, I have Rodgers. He got me 9 points last week, but my boy Josh Jacobs is 26 fucking points.
He's on my team.
Yeah, he's on my team.
I started.
I got him. I got him.
I started Waller this week too.
I moved hell in high water. There was no way I was going to beat Josh Jacobs.
3 first keeper picks.
Yeah. I did whatever I could for him. So, I mean, I will say this, and I'm basing this purely on I haven't watched many Packers games, but Aaron Rodgers has been shit as my fantasy
I know
quarterback.
they just slapped down the Cowboys last night, so they got a legit defense.
That offense is not the same anymore.
But they've got Devontae Adams. Was it his name Aaron Jones or something?
Aaron Jones,
who's talented. You don't fuck around with them. They're still
they have talent, but I'm not convinced of that offense.
We're also playing in Lambeau. Mid-October, It's going to be cold. I don't know. I don't.
We'll see. Maybe it's the start of the legend of the Road Warriors.
The Road Raiders.
The autumn wind.
The autumn wind.
From city to city, pillaging and raping playoff dreams. I mean,
I didn't give them a chance against the Bears, so you know what? And they went out, they won that game. So who's to say? That's why they play the game any given Sunday or whatever. Blah.
If I had, I don't think we're gonna win. But if I had to think of ways that we're going to win, I would say that. I mean, we probably might have I don't know if we have the best running attack in the league, but I think that we have a efficient one.
It's an efficient one. I'd go with the efficient one.
Yeah, and so if we can efficiently control that time of possession, and if this game is the beginning of some sort of identity for this defense forming, and also on top of that, we may start seeing the best version of the Raiders that we've seen all year. Gabe Jackson might be back after the bye week.
Big comeback.
Yeah. I mean, Richie Incognito is already paying off dividends.
Besides those 6 points he screwed us out of
on the penalty, but here's the thing: Richie Incognito, right, was always going to be a guy who's going to get flagged, but he was spanking little boys out there all game. He's a mauler, man. And that
I know, but the penalties bother because he screwed a set of points. So that it
but he also scored us a set of points on that. Go back and look at that Josh Jacobs touchdown run.
No, dude,
he's running right behind the left guard and Colton Miller.
He's giving guys therapy advice as he's pancaking them onto the
I'll tell you what, I'm still skeptical of Colton Miller. He's a great run blocker, and that left side of the line, Colton Miller and Richie Incognito, it's like old school Raider running attack. Just run left all day.
He's talented, and he can definitely. Yeah.
I mean, if Gabe Jackson comes back, we get Tyrell Williams and JJ Nelson back. We could start seeing this team the way the way it was actually planned.
Yeah.
And if that's coming together just as they're figuring things out, if they're figuring out their identity, then I mean, who knows what we're capable of against the Packers.
Well, okay, let me throw this out at you. Are we a playoff team this year?
I would say we're shy of being a playoff team.
8-8? Where do you put us?
All right. So I would probably say if I'm going to be fair, we're 3-2 right now. Lose to the Packers, lose to the Texans, win against the Lions. One of those two teams, the Texans or the Lions, we have to steal one of those.
I agree.
That puts you at 4 wins going into.
So where do we 4-5 at that point?
Yeah, going into November. No, you'd be if you beat the Lions, you'd be 500, right?
4-4, yeah.
So then, the month of November, you see the Chargers, Bengals, Jets, and Chiefs.
Well, 2 of those are super winnable.
Exactly. So and you know what?
3 of
the Chargers are not infallible either.
No, we can beat the Chargers.
So if you're 500, 4-4 going into November, which is the goal right now,
we could be on a 4-game win streak.
You could
potentially.
Yeah, you could talk about being a 7-win team going into December.
That's pretty good. Those are good odds.
If that's the case, then we absolutely can be challenging
9-7.
We could be challenging for a wild card spot.
Yeah,
we could absolutely challenge for a wild card.
Even if we're in the conversation, no, this season is a victory.
But that's what we wanted.
Yeah,
we just wanted. We just wanted to compete, and we're doing it right now. It's very weird year for the NFL right now. Who's the dominant team besides?
There's a lot of
the dominant team is the Patriots, and like we said, they're the big kid on the playground beating up kids a grade younger than them.
The Colts win against the Chiefs was a statement. So really, it's half the league is like, who is this team?
Yeah. Who are they? Like they're not the team. They're not the same version of themselves that they were last year. So I would say the Packers is going to be a good litmus test because I think that the Packers are ahead of us, but they're probably 2 or 3 players ahead of us in terms of overall trajectory. They're probably quarterback, which is the biggest position.
Yeah,
that's the big.
Well, the quarterback.
This is why no one. The reason why no one is actually going to give us a shot is because Derek Carr is not a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah,
and Aaron Rodgers, even in an off year,
top 5 quarterback
is still up there.
Yeah.
And then they probably have Aaron Jones probably won a lot of people fantasy games last week. He had 40 fantasy points.
Yeah.
He exploded.
Yep.
I'll take Josh Jacobs over him.
I would too.
Yeah, they've got Devontae Adams. They got a true number 1. So on offense, Rodgers and Adams is pretty much the equalizer there. That's where they're better than us. And then on defense, they've got a lot of great pieces, but none of them are household names. They don't have elite players.
Yeah,
on
but
that team.
it's
the defense is better this year.
Performance, they've been performing. So.
Yeah, they've been performing, but that's what. So they probably have like another couple, like 1 or 2 guys on defense that we don't have. That the glue that brings everything together.
Yeah.
Because we are seeing talent on this defense now. It's just a matter of whether we have those leaders that can make those clutch plays when you need them at their most.
I don't think we're there yet. I don't.
I mean, I don't either. That's why I think we're going to lose to the Packers. But that's why I'm saying it's a good test. It's a good test. We got to go out there. We got to compete. If we can make them earn the win, and
I'd at least give them a game. Yeah.
Then everybody's gonna, you'll be 3-3, and the Raiders played the Packers tough from whistle to whistle. And people are going to be talking about us differently. It's going to be, you're going to have to acknowledge that we're not a team you could pencil or even write in, even pencil in a W
that
anymore.
In itself would be the greatest victory of the season, just because of the we've been the media looks at us like laughing stocks, but just to be and this game helped change the script against the Bears. Just like, oh, maybe they're legit now. Maybe they're not an automatic win anymore, and it's like finally getting the respect that we deserve.
But we're finally earning it a little bit.
Yeah, well,
you're not going to be handed respect.
We're absolutely earning it.
Yeah,
that was a tough win. Everything that could have went wrong in that third quarter, and we came out the win anyway.
Yeah, but now we have, outside of Patrick Mahomes, 3 of the better quarterbacks that we're going to face on our schedule ahead of us.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's, did we actually deserve that respect? Did we actually earn it? Or are we pretenders? I mean, I think that we're probably a 500 team. I think if we go out there and we make ourselves proud and we compete in October, we come out 500. That's all we.
Well, if we double the wins from last year, I think that's a good season. I think that's you made progress is what that says.
Yeah. And so far, I mean, this season's a completely different season than last year. Like we're showing something.
3-2 in second place. That's early in the season, but it means something.
We always knew that Vegas was going to be the window.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see the stepping stones to making that a reality. We're starting to
slowly, but there's some building blocks.
We're starting to see some players come into their own. I mean, if we can go out there next week and fucking imagine just
2 weeks.
2 weeks bye week, baby. So we're winners extra long. We got an extra week of winning. But if we can go out there and just our defensive line really starts. Maybe our defensive line is going to start figuring it out because they have been playing well.
Yeah.
And maybe we just knock Rodgers around all game.
That'd be great.
And I'm not saying it's gonna lead to a victory, but if we could start seeing pieces for the future, that's the best scenario for this season.
Yeah, because this season, like we said, is all about development. And are we seeing progress from certain players? And
we finally are.
We are.
It's like a sigh of relief. It's like. Thank God that there's something there.
We've had some.
It's like that little That little bud coming up from the soil.
Is that a
It's like
is that a
reaching for the sun.
marijuana reference?
That's exactly what it is.
But yeah, no, we've had some hard. It's been a roller coaster of a season so far. We're 5 games in, really low lows and pretty good feeling highs. Another marijuana reference.
He's taunting me.
Loki
My sober October journey here.
But yeah, no, this was I do think this Bears win was a statement win. It was the best win in maybe, best win in 2 years. So
yeah, I mean, you got anything else to add there?
Oh, I'm done.
Other than you want to take our naked ass selves and run across the front lawn?
Let's do it, dude. Let's go streaking.
Let's go streaking. 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 Streaking.